and a 2, and a 1. Good day or evening or morning. It's morning for me, very early, but it is what it is. Guess you live somewhere else. I want to take a moment to say thank you. Thank you so much for your insightful comments and all the feedback that I got from the last upload. I'll try to, I guess, maybe put it on the screen here or here. It doesn't really matter, or maybe not. Who knows? But that was very overwhelming in a good way, of course. You guys exceeded my expectations in every imaginable way. And to that I say thank you. Thank you, dear viewer. I humbly thank you. I am bowing. Alright, awful. Stop stalling. Sorry, it's in my nature inherently to just stall. I guess that's part of the second order effect whenever you become a Twitch streamer, to where you just inherently want to stall and procrastinate from, going through the topic at hand. Can't we shut up, awful, and just get on to the topic? Yes, we can. Alright, so the topic at hand today is the lack of innovation, but it's not necessarily true. I want to say we reached a stalemate when it comes to innovating, be it with technology, be it with media, be it with a lot of things. I feel like a lot of things have become predictable, or they're too formulaic to where there isn't really much room for improvement anymore. So, say with something like movies and shows, I think the consensus, or to give an example of a consensus around it, could be the pinnacle of movies. The pinnacle of movies really would be something like Lord of the Rings, to where, yeah, there's still great products that came after Lord of the Rings, but I think if you were to argue with anybody about it, I don't think there's too much innovation on, medieval fantasy, like straight up. And when it comes to video games, which is the highest form of art in my opinion, I don't think you can exceed something that was genre defining like Silent Hill, be it Silent Hill 1 or 2, that is up to debate depending on your outlook on these products, or something like Halo, to where, yes, it's not necessarily Doom, but it pioneered the first person genre. There's myriad of examples to set, be it in movies or video games or products. A good example for a product would be the iPhone. Past the iPhone, it has just been upgrades, iOS upgrades and bigger camera, larger phone, better processor, all really good improvements, but it doesn't fundamentally change the product. It's effectively the same product. You text, you call people, you listen to music, and really, if you break it down and compare it to an iPod, really it's not that much different from an iPod, with the exception that you couldn't really call anybody from an iPod because you could have put in a SIM card. But then again, if you were connected through the internet, you could just Skype people back in the day, so it didn't really matter that much, unless, you were not a 12-year-old and you actually had to call people. And nowadays, I'm just noticing that we're just getting product after product year by year, to where it feels like it's overwhelming, but it's irrelevant to have. Like, I'm not noticing there's breakthroughs anymore. Like, when I see a new product being announced, or a new video game on the Game Awards, I just don't get that level of excitement. You know what I mean? It just feels like one of those been there, done that, and I just don't want to repeat that same scenario again. I think the most recent example for me was when a game like Metaphor ReFantazio, which I think is a great product. It's a very thought-provoking, compelling product. But I couldn't help but notice to make that distinction. While yes, it is a fantasy setting, more or less it's very, very similar in terms of narrative when it comes to something like Final Fantasy VII, when it comes to something like Persona 5 Royal. Political injustice, social commentary, and criticism over theocracy and pagans, etc. Well, Metaphor delve deeper into those subjects. It's a highly political game, but it's more or less the same product. I mean, that would be kind of dismissive and dumbed down review for the game, but it's not really it. And this is just an example. This is just a drop in the pond. It doesn't paint the full picture. This is not like a conclusive review or anything. This is just me like given a hindsight perspective on it. And yeah, everything feels samey, man. Everything feels samey. Even cars. Like, talk about cars. Like, I don't really see the difference when it comes to a piece of shit Honda from 1999 or a Toyota Camry from like a 2020 make model. It's like, yeah, sure, we could go about like the nuances of the technology that goes into the car, the engine. Is it a turbo engine? Is it a V6? Yada, yada, yada. But really, it's just the practicality and the use case. Like, what are you going to use a car for? Well, you're going to go from point A to point B. Oh, you save this much fuel with this one. Oh, this one has a hybrid engine, etc. But fundamentally, the task for the car is the same. It takes you from one place to another. Like, the distinction to be made are just, minor... those small minor conveniences added, such as, automatic gear, better air conditioning, better gas usage, safer for the environment, etc., etc., etc. You get the point. But it doesn't provoke that same level of excitement. Like, nothing seems groundbreaking. Unless you are a nerd and you're into space expedition and NASA, which they have plenty of breakthroughs. Even in the medical field, there's plenty of breakthroughs that happen very frequently. But unless like you're majoring in those fields and you're just up to date with everything that happens, then you wouldn't really know or wouldn't really necessarily care. But everything that is breaking ground right now is very, very minor. Like, it's not really worth considering. It's not gonna make it to the headlines. And if it does, very little people pay attention to it. But I think that's also part of overstimuli. That there's so much going on and the world is a lot more globalized. And so many events happen that it's kind of hard to keep track of everything because everything is so quick. That people just lose... I want to say they lose interest. So when there's so much stuff going on around the world and you're either hooked on a machine, be it the TV or be it Twitter feed, you kind of just lose interest. Because one thing happens one day and then the next thing happens in like the same day in a span of a few hours. Or maybe a span of a week or a month. Where like the thing that happened prior just completely loses relevance. Like a good example to set when it comes to something like geopolitical events or even drama is Dan Schneider. Next thing you know, you got E Diddy. It's like, oh man, that escalated quickly. Oh, now it's Luigi Mangione. It's just you start to notice the absurdity of it, and you're like, man, I can't even keep track anymore, and I don't really care, But also like this I guess transfers me to the next segment of the video. Man, this is a long pause, isn't it? You could say that like I just woke up and I just started recording. I think we're definitely overstimulated. But so much shit happens that for us, it's entertainment. A good example I could set here is, the recent presidential debates that went publicly with Zelensky and Trump. And again, this is not a fucking nesting ground for bullshit to happen in the comment section. But if you are going to comment about this, then try to be as respectful as possible. Everybody has a different point of view around that subject. And, there's truth to both sides. But for me, I just saw that and I thought, man, my psychopath because I'm laughing at this? It is so hilarious to me. Like, I just saw it. I was like, man, this is really funny. Why am I laughing at this? You know? I shouldn't be laughing, but it's just... It's the absurdity of it that just, like, man. Fuck. I'm not supposed to laugh, but it's just funny, man, you know? But if you were to ask me, I feel that way for a lot of things. And, yeah, I don't know if this resonates with anybody when it comes to lack of interest in regards to anything. I guess my conclusive answer to this is I don't think it's just me. I think we have reached pinnacle the pinnacle of our innovation and creativity when it comes to a lot of things. Like Elden Ring, I don't see a product that's going to excel beyond Elden Ring when it comes to maybe not necessarily gameplay, but I cannot see a product greater than that. Just like I don't really see a product exceeding Skyrim. I really don't. I don't see a product exceeding Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. Or maybe for some people it would be Black Ops 1. You know? It's just... They have been fine-tuning those products, and then they reached, like, the pinnacle when it comes to innovation and storytelling and gameplay and lore and music, that I genuinely think they have outdid themselves in every facet possible. That it's just... It's hard for me to even conceive the idea of something better to come out, be it from a different company or the same company, or, you know, the same people. And it sucks because I barely get excited for anything anymore, and I don't want to feel that way. I don't want to convince myself that we cannot outdo the greatness that we have seen when it comes to media or anything. But I feel like we kind of just reach that point, and hopefully I get humbled. Hopefully I take back my words. Hopefully this video ages like milk and not like fine wine, you know? That maybe my expectations, and so is the case for a lot of people, are exceeded when it comes to innovation. Because I don't want to have a lack of interest when it comes to anything. But I genuinely feel like I just don't have interest in a lot of things. Like, the most interesting thing is probably political events, but I don't even, like, entertain them in the same way other people entertain. Like, I view them as a form of comedy, as a form of background noise, as a form of, oh, hey, I thought this was funny. That's the extent of it. And to a degree, discussions can be had around them, and I would entertain them because it keeps me stimulated, and it keeps other people stimulated. Because I just, as I grow older, I just have a lack of interest in you know, in anime and games and movies, that if I were to turn them on my monitor or my fucking TV, it's just there to make me feel less lonely and less bored, and just keep me working on my next task before I inevitably just fucking lay down because I'm really just tired of it all. And I feel like this is a self snitch. Like, you're just tired of it all. Oh, I am, but not in the way that you think. Well, food for thought. Let me know what you think in the comments. And sorry if I keep stuttering, keep pausing a whole bunch. If you like the video, make sure you like and subscribe if you'd like to see more content like this. If you don't like the video, then you can dislike it and tell me how bad I am at, like, talking to the camera and articulating my thoughts and being the person that I am. I cannot, I'm new to this, but we're learning. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for all the awesome feedback that you have given throughout the last 2 videos. I will continue to do my best. I will continue to improve. And yeah, catch you all in the next one. Peace!